will MAS consider asking banks with digital disruptions to compensate directly to the bank customer?
The banks are and will be held accountable. Our approach to digitalization is being digital first, but not digital only. DBS is required to hold regulatory capital. Members will know that this will be at great cost to the bank, as I had mentioned earlier on. Second, there are also other measures. First is that the bank, DBS in this case, are not allowed to make any IT changes and also to involve themselves or purchase or make any acquisitions. And the third is also to reduce the decrease in the number of ATMs and branches, physical ATMs and branches. This is meant to allow for them to focus all of their attention into this, that they have their time, their attention, and the resources to focus on this. The third aspect of it is to slow down the reduction of the number of ATMs and branches is also critical. Because while we want to be digital first, our approach to digitalization, we cannot be digitally only. And therefore, all of these measures are, we think, at this point of time, commensurate, but we will review them. And if the bank's response and mediation measures are not adequate, MAS will take further necessary actions.
I would like to ask MAS, will MAS consider asking banks with digital disruptions to compensate directly to the bank customer?
The banks are and will be held accountable. First, through MAS's actions, I mentioned and I went into detail how regulatory capital imposition will impact the banks. In addition, it will be a drag on the return of capital. It could impact their credit ratings and it could impact their stock price. That's one. DBS on its own also has acknowledged that the bank had fallen short of expectations and that senior management will be held accountable. This is in line with MAS's expectation for incentive structure, the bank's incentive structure, to promote accountability. And the bank will reflect this in its year-end compensation process. Thirdly, consumers also will hold banks accountable. If I'm unable to pay using one of the financial services providers, then I go to the other one. And I lose confidence in one, I go to the other one.
The two banks had done their testing. They had their plans, they've done their testing. But despite the testing, which was done annually, these errors did not occur. And these errors were quite impactful to users. So is there a need to review the kind of testing and the requirements for the reporting of those testing, or further measures to be taken to ensure reliability?
First, DBS's review, which was completed in August 2020, well, just a couple of months ago in 2023, has 4 pillars. First, technology risk, governance and oversight. Second, incident management. Third, how do you strengthen your system's resilience? And fourth, change management. So DBS is undertaking this and they will look into this in detail. Second, for Citibank, MAS will assess the supervisory actions to be taken against Citibank following the conclusions of the investigations in the October 14 incident. Mr. Speaker, sir, if you allow me to just take one step back and to answer the members' questions also. We will accept that all forms of technology are infallible. They will fail from time to time. They're not foolproof. They're not watertight. Our approach to digitalization is being digital first, but not digital only. So on a whole level, if you look at it, the service providers, the systems need to be accountable. They need to do their part. Consumers themselves also have agencies. All of us also have agencies. We can make sure that we have contingency, different ways to pay, but ultimately I think it's important that in the age of digitalization, we also, both as financial institutions as well as consumers, be aware that some people may not be adept at technology, and the banks and financial institutions, and in fact companies, service providers must acknowledge that and must be able to provide other forms of payment approaches so that others who are not so adept can still participate in the economy.
Many average Singaporeans and SMEs, especially the smaller merchants like the hawkers, do not have spare cash and maintain only one operating account with a particular Singaporean bank. Neither do they have the means to seek legal recourse against the bank for the loss of business opportunities as well as the inconvenience caused. So my question to MAS is, how does MAS decide when to impose a moratorium on its new business venture, or to impose a higher regulatory capital, or to impose a larger network of ATMs? Thank you.
I can understand the members' concerns, and I share those concerns as well. And I mentioned that earlier on with regards to how we are and must be digital first, but not digital only. Customers who incurred late charges due to the outage, DBS and Citibank will waive these charges. In fact, I had already explained that the point of restricting some of these activities, either acquisitions or reduce the scale back of ATMs and branches, and preventing or rather restricting IT changes, these are all meant for this particular period for the bank, for DBS, to focus on remediating and fixing the issues that led to 14th October, and in fact, other issues that have related to the multiple disruptions over the course of a year. Thank you.